page 531. Question 6. Listen to part of the lecture, then respond to the question.
Okay, so last time we were talking about some disadvantages that animals that live in groups experience, namely in increased exposure to contagious diseases and increased competition for limited food resources. But now I want to switch gears and look at how living in a group can be advantageous. There are several ways a species can benefit from living in a group, such as increased protection from predators. But I want to specifically focus on how group living can facilitate in hunting and foraging for food in some species. When animals live in groups, they generally tend to hunt together, which makes them better able to acquire a wider variety of food, which increases the overall nutrition of their diet. For example, wolves. So, of course, you know that they are carnivores generally hunting big game like deer, elk, and moose, but they can actually eat a variety of food, including smaller mammals, insects, and some vegetation such as berries. If wolves hunted alone, it would be incredibly difficult for a lone wolf, all by itself, to take down a large mammal like an elk or moose. As a result, their diet would be limited to the smaller animals and plants, which only would supply a very small amount of calories, just barely enough calories to survive on. But since wolves are social and live in highly organized groups, they are able to hunt large mammals like elk and moose, which provide more than enough calories for the entire group. Another way in which living in groups is beneficial is that it aids in foraging, or searching for food. Some animals search for and gather food in organized groups, such as ants. For ants, their social behavior provides them with the advantage of saving time and energy when they search for food in groups. Ants have specialized duties. Specific ants are solely responsible for finding food, so they are more efficient than non-social insects in acquiring food. So when extra food is needed, some ants are assigned to collect food. First patrollers, or scouts, go out early in the morning to search for food. When the scouts find food, they will return to the ants' nest and tell the other ants, harvester ants, about what direction to go to find the food and when it is safe to leave the nest. When a group of harvester ants finds the food, they cut up the food and take the food back to the nest. In this process, different ants will assume different roles when dealing with the food. Some ants will cut up the food, and others will dig underneath large pieces of food to make it easier to transport back to the nest.
Now answer the following question. You have 20 seconds to prepare an answer and 60 seconds to give your spoken response. Using the examples of wolves and ants from the lecture, explain how living in groups can help animals acquire food.